In the vast expanse of the cosmos, where stars flicker like distant memories, a technologically advanced alien race known as the Zephyrians quietly observed the blue planet nestled in the Sol system, the Zephyrians. A species of ethereal beings with shimmering skin that reflected their surroundings, possessed an intellect far beyond human comprehension. Their civilization thrived on knowledge and innovation, having mastered interstellar travel and harnessing energy sources that made them nearly invincible. Yet, despite their advancements, they remained deeply curious about the primitive species inhabiting Earth. For centuries, the Zephyrians had watched humanity evolve, fascinated by its struggles, triumphs, and the intricate tapestry of emotions that defined human existence. They noted humanity's relentless pursuit of survival amidst wars, natural disasters, and social upheaval. Each milestone in human history was met with keen interest. From the dawn of agriculture to the technological revolutions that followed, the Zephyrians documented it all. However, what intrigued them most was not merely humanity's capacity for survival, but their profound sense of community and loyalty. The bonds formed among humans, friends, families, allies, were a study in contrast to the often solitary nature of Zephyrian existence. While they excelled in technology and knowledge, they lacked the depth of emotional connection that seemed to fuel human motivation. This discrepancy ignited a desire within their ranks to understand humanity better. As interstellar observers, they deployed drones equipped with advanced cloaking technology to blend into Earth's atmosphere without detection. These drones captured everything from bustling city life to quiet rural moments, carefully analyzing human interactions. They marveled at gestures of kindness, a stranger helping another in need, or communities rallying together during crises. Yet, they also documented darker aspects: betrayal, greed, and conflict that marred humanity's otherwise vibrant spirit. The Zephyrians had long debated the merits of direct contact with humans. Some factions believed that intervention could lead to enlightenment for both species. Others warned against it, fearing that any involvement might disrupt the natural progression of humanity's development. Among these debates emerged a charismatic leader named Virulin, who argued passionately for engagement. Virulin envisioned a partnership, one where both races could share knowledge and resources for mutual advancement. With her vision in mind, a clandestine mission was devised. A team of elite Zephyrian ambassadors would descend upon Earth under the guise of benevolent explorers. Their aim was simple yet profound: make contact with humans while maintaining secrecy to avoid panic or hostility. As preparations commenced, Virulin felt a stirring sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. She understood that this encounter could irrevocably change everything, both for her people and for humanity. Yet, she was determined to bridge the chasm between their worlds. On the night designated for their descent, a small fleet of sleek ships glided silently through the atmosphere, cloaked from human perception. The vessels landed discreetly in an isolated forest clearing, away from prying eyes. As the doors opened and Virulin stepped onto Earth for the first time, she was struck by its beauty. The vibrant colors of nature contrasted sharply with the sterile environment of her home world. Taking a deep breath filled with anticipation and apprehension, Virulin looked towards the stars above, the very ones that had guided her journey here. She felt an overwhelming sense of destiny wash over her. This moment marked the beginning of an uncharted adventure that held both promise and peril. Unbeknownst to her and her crew, however, lurking shadows awaited them. A realization that betrayal could lead to dire consequences for all involved. As the Zephyrian fleet sat cloaked in darkness, nestled among the sprawling trees of an isolated forest on Earth, anticipation hung heavy in the air. Virulin gathered her team of ambassadors, each selected for their expertise in diplomacy and cultural understanding, preparing them for what could be an extraordinary turning point in both their lives and humanity's future. In her mind, Virulin revisited the countless observations that had led to this pivotal moment. The tapestry of human existence unraveled before her like a vivid mural, rich with drama, joy, sorrow, and resilience. She believed that if they could forge an alliance with humanity, it would not merely be a transaction of knowledge. It would foster mutual growth and understanding. In these turbulent times, both species had much to gain from one another. Virulin felt a thrill run through her as she envisioned numerous possibilities: collaborative efforts in science and technology, shared cultural insights, perhaps even an exploration of values and philosophies. However, she couldn't ignore the nagging doubt lacing through the excitement, the uncertainty of how humanity would react to more than just innocent observation. Remember our objective, she reminded her team. her voice steadying amidst the fluttering emotions that filled the airship. We must proceed with utmost caution. Our aim is peaceful contact. We should seek common ground without overwhelming them. As they exited their vessel one by one, adjusting to the calming sounds of crickets and rustling leaves around them, a palpable sense of purpose enveloped them. They glided silently across the forest floor, blending effortlessly into the shadows while luminous strands from their skin flickered gently beneath their cloaking apparatus. The consensus was to reveal themselves in a quiet location, a small clearing away from civilization where humans often came to connect with nature. The Zephyrians believed this serene environment might elicit warmth rather than fear when encountering beings beyond their comprehension. Extracting themselves from their cloaks as they reached the glade's edge, Virulin raised her hand slowly as a universal gesture of peace. Her heart raced as she gazed at a gathering of campers who had chosen this night for stargazing. Some wrapped in blankets reclined on grassy patches while others fiddled enthusiastically with telescopes to catch a glimpse of distant galaxies. Recognizing the potential for awe and curiosity inherent in such a gathering only fueled Virulin's determination. Stay calm, she urged her companion softly but firmly. Let us project friendliness and hospitality. Taking a deep breath, she stepped forward into the soft moonlight that touched down upon her shimmering figure. Her skin glowed in response as she permitted herself to be visible fully. It was crucial that they made this first impression count. With careful grace and rhythm embedded in every movement, Virulin approached the campers with hands open wide, an invitation without words. The moment felt suspended in time as one by one they turned toward her presence. Faces mixed with confusion quickly shifted into expressions blended with wonderment as they saw before them something completely unexpected. Yet just as smiles began to bloom amidst startled gasps, doubt cascaded across some faces. A sprinkle of apprehension about what this alien encounter might mean for them permeated the serenity of their night. Virulin sensed that trust must be cultivated delicately or else this fragile opportunity could shatter like glass. Summoning every ounce of charisma within her being, Virulin prepared to speak, her voice resonating with sincerity as she attempted indeed to bridge two worlds caught between possibility and peril. We come in peace, she articulated clearly. We are travelers seeking knowledge and connection among friends. In this moment poised on Earth's soil beneath sweeping cosmic skies, both sides held their breath, trust teetering precariously on the thin line between breakthrough and calamity. While Virulin and her team sought to forge an alliance with humanity, not all factions within the Zephyrian ranks shared her vision. A powerful group known as the Eldrians, who held a more cynical view of interspecies relations, regarded humanity as a resource to be exploited rather than partners to be embraced. They resented the diplomatic efforts undertaken by Virulin and her ambassadors, believing that the time for subtlety had passed. In the shadows of their ethereal city, the Eldrians convened in a clandestine chamber illuminated by pulsating energy orbs. Their leader, a shrewd and calculating figure named Zelther, had long deemed humans inferior and viewed their emotional complexities as weaknesses ripe for manipulation. Why waste time negotiating with them? He declared, his voice resonating with disdain. They are mere insects beneath our feet. We possess the technology to extract their resources without their knowledge or consent. With Zelther's words igniting fervor among his followers, they devised a plan to infiltrate Earth's systems. They aimed to harvest its natural resources, water, minerals, and even human ingenuity, while masking their true intentions under the guise of peaceful collaboration. The Eldrians believed that by manipulating human technology and exploiting their vulnerabilities, they could gain immeasurable power without facing repercussions. As the Eldrians began executing their scheme, they utilized advanced cloaking technology to send small drones across Earth's surface. These drones were designed to infiltrate human facilities, siphoning off data and resources while remaining undetected. The operation was meticulous. They hacked into communication networks, monitored infrastructure, and even infiltrated laboratories where groundbreaking scientific research was conducted. However, unbeknownst to them, this reckless endeavor would stoke a fire within the very hearts of humanity that they underestimated. As humans began experiencing unexplained phenomena, sudden resource shortages and inexplicable failures within their technology, concerns grew among scientists and leaders alike. Something sinister lurked beneath the surface. It wasn't long before whispers of betrayal reached Virulin's ears. During a routine meeting with her team following their initial contact with the campers, she sensed an unsettling tension. A junior ambassador approached her hesitantly after witnessing peculiar readings from one of their observation satellites. Virulin, he said, Fidgeting nervously, we've detected unusual energy signatures near major urban centers. It appears some of our drones have breached their defenses. Panic surged through Virulin as she grasped the implications of this revelation. The Eldrian's actions not only jeopardized her peaceful mission but threatened to unravel any goodwill established with humanity. We must confront them before this escalates. She asserted passionately, her resolve strengthening with each word. If we don't intervene now, we risk provoking a conflict that could devastate both our worlds. Rallying her team around her vision of unity rather than division, Virulin organized an emergency summit with both loyal Zephyrian factions and representatives from humanity who had shown interest in collaboration. Together, they devised plans to expose the Eldrians and halt their predatory activities. Meanwhile, Zelther reveled in his perceived victory as reports flooded in of successful resource extraction missions. He envisioned an era where Zephyrian dominance overshadowed any human ambition or resilience. However, he remained blissfully unaware of the storm brewing on both sides. As tensions mounted and stakes heightened within both species' territories, the Zephyrians now on high alert for potential conflict. The true nature of betrayal began to surface. Not only did it threaten alliances but also revealed profound misunderstandings about humanity's indomitable spirit and fierce resolve against aggressors seeking exploitation. In this charged atmosphere filled with uncertainty and impending confrontation, Virulin knew that time was running out. She needed to act decisively before betrayal bore fruit. And before humanity learned just how determined they could be when faced with threats against their existence. As whispers of the Eldrian's betrayal reverberated through both Zephyrian and human circles. The gravity of the situation ignited a fierce determination among Earth's inhabitants. Human leaders, initially skeptical of the alien presence, found themselves united by a shared sense of purpose, defending their planet from an insidious threat that had emerged from the stars. In a matter of days, an emergency summit was convened at a secure military facility, bringing together scientists, engineers, military strategists, and diplomats who had previously engaged with the Zephyrians. As representatives from various nations gathered, a palpable energy filled the room, a mix of fear, anger, and resolve. The world would no longer be passive. They would take action. Dr. Emily Carter, a leading expert in aerospace engineering, stood at the forefront of the meeting, her eyes blazing with conviction. "We cannot allow this alien faction to strip our resources without consequence," she declared passionately. "We must develop new technologies that can counteract their advanced capabilities." Her words resonated deeply, echoing the sentiments of those around her who were now ready to mobilize. In the days that followed, global coalitions formed as nations pooled their resources and expertise. Laboratories transformed into bustling hubs of innovation where scientists raced against time to create countermeasures against the Zephyrian drones that had infiltrated their systems. Engineers worked tirelessly to build electromagnetic pulse devices capable of disabling alien technology, while computer programmers developed sophisticated firewalls to protect critical infrastructures from further breaches. Recognizing the importance of intelligence gathering, military leaders also initiated joint operations to monitor any unusual activity. Satellites were repositioned to provide enhanced surveillance of potential Eldrian extraction sites. Local militias and community organizations were enlisted to keep watch over areas suspected of being targeted for resource exploitation. People from all walks of life came together, driven by a newfound camaraderie and an indomitable spirit. Meanwhile, as preparations intensified on Earth, Virulin and her loyal allies worked closely with human representatives to devise an open communication channel with those who had been duped by Zelther's schemes. They believed that exposing the truth about the Eldrians could further solidify alliances and promote a united front against common adversaries. Virulin's message emphasized the need for collaboration. "Together, we are stronger than any one faction," she urged during a video conference with global leaders. "Let us share our knowledge and technology to ensure we remain one step ahead." In parallel, humans began crafting narratives through media outlets that showcased their determination to stand firm against extraterrestrial exploitation. Documentaries detailing humanity's resilience and ingenuity were broadcasted worldwide. Stories of triumph and adversity inspired hope and solidarity among viewers. Social media campaigns rallied citizens under the banner of unity in the face of adversity. As weeks passed, reports began surfacing of successful operations where Eldrian drones were detected but thwarted. Earth's defenses were no longer passive. They had become proactive, leveraging human creativity and adaptability to counteract alien incursions. Each small victory elevated morale across nations, reinforcing the belief that humanity would not be easily subdued or exploited. Yet amidst these successes hid an underlying tension. Virulent grew increasingly aware that despite their efforts to rally cooperation among humans, Zelther's influence remained potent. His faction continued its nefarious activities under the veil of secrecy, leading to fears that a direct confrontation would be inevitable. With tensions escalating on both sides, Virulent understood that time was running out. Humans had ignited their will to fight back. But whether it would be enough against the cunning strategies of the Eldrians remained an open question. She knew that if they were to succeed, she would need to act quickly to ensure her kind did not stand divided when facing a common enemy, an enemy whose arrogance threatened not only Earth's existence but their own survival as well. As the reality of the Eldrians' betrayal settled into the fabric of both Zephyrian and human societies, the consequences began to unfold with striking clarity. Once eager to explore interspecies collaboration, the atmosphere now buzzed with tension and mistrust. The actions of Zelther's faction not only threatened Earth's resources but also jeopardized the fragile alliance that Virulent had worked tirelessly to establish. In the wake of their exposure, the Eldrians found themselves on precarious ground. Unable to conceal their intentions any longer, they became targets of disdain even among their own kind. Whispers of discontent echoed through the halls of Zephyrian society as loyalists rallied behind Virulent, demanding accountability and swift action against those who would undermine peace for selfish gain. Zelther, realizing his plans were crumbling around him, convened a secretive council with his closest allies in a darkened chamber deep within their city. "We miscalculated," he admitted begrudgingly, frustration etched across his features. "The humans have rallied far more effectively than we anticipated. We must find a way to regain control before they fully mobilize against us." But dissent was brewing even among his ranks. Some Eldrians had begun to question whether exploiting humanity was worth risking their own survival. Meanwhile, the humans responded to their newfound knowledge with unyielding resolve. Reports flooded in about successful operations where previously infiltrated drones were disabled or captured. Scientists and engineers devised ingenious traps that could intercept Eldrian technology mid-flight while local militias patrolled suspected extraction sites. With an unrelenting vigilance, humanity's collective anger morphed into unity as protests erupted, calling for immediate action against any further alien encroachment. The grassroots movements gained momentum across the globe. Voices rang out from city streets demanding transparency and justice for those whose resources had been targeted. Under this pressure, Earth's leaders formed a unified command center that coordinated intelligence sharing among nations. Joint missions were established to directly confront Eldrian incursions wherever they appeared, organized groups of soldiers and scientists working side by side like never before. In a desperate bid to maintain a foothold on Earth, Zelther ordered an escalation. He commanded his remaining loyalists to launch surprise strikes on critical human facilities, an act that would only serve to deepen humanity's animosity toward all Zephyrians. However, unbeknownst to him, such actions were being monitored closely by both human forces and Virulent's allies who remained dedicated to preventing further conflict. As skirmishes broke out at borders between human territories and Eldrian strongholds hidden within Earth's atmosphere, it was clear an open conflict was brewing. Airborne battles erupted as advanced human aircraft clashed with cloaked alien drones in furious displays of strategy and desperation. A cacophony of light against the night sky that would leave lasting scars on both sides. Amidst this turbulence stood Virulent, who now faced an uphill battle not only against Zelther but also against a growing tide of fear among humans directed at all Zephyrians. It pained her deeply to witness how her people's betrayal had triggered widespread hostility. She understood that if reconciliation were ever possible again, it would require extraordinary efforts from both sides. With time running short and tensions escalating dangerously high, Virulent sought an audience with Earth's leaders once more, this time not merely as an ambassador reaching out for alliance, but as a mediator pleading for peace amidst chaos. "We must show them that not all Zephyrians seek exploitation," she insisted passionately during another high-stakes summit meeting filled with skepticism and anger directed at her kind. In this moment charged with uncertainty lay hope, a slim chance for coexistence still flickering beneath layers of betrayal. But only if humanity could be convinced that cooperation was possible even after such deep wounds had been inflicted by one faction's arrogance. As Zelther's violent methods intensified conflict across worlds once united in inquiry and exploration, Virulent braced herself for what lay ahead. a fight not just for survival but for trust itself amidst shadows cast by betrayal's cruel hand. Amidst the chaos and escalating conflict between humans and Eldrians, a profound realization unfolded among a handful of surviving Eldrian defectors who had witnessed the devastation caused by their faction's betrayal. The brilliant rays of light that once symbolized their technological superiority now felt overshadowed by a deepening darkness, their own dismantled integrity and the suffering they had inflicted upon another sentient species. In the wake of several disastrous attempts to maintain control, many within Zelther's ranks grew disillusioned with the path their leader had chosen. Fear and guilt started consuming them as reports trickled in from the front lines. They watched as innocent humans suffered from the fallout of misguided ambitions, families torn apart, cities damaged in skirmishes, and friendships poisoned by mistrust. They held secret meetings in hidden enclaves within their community, debating the repercussions of exploiting humanity for resources. As one evening stretched into night beneath a canopy of stars, two Eldrian scientists named Ryler and Sareth convened alone in a dimly lit laboratory, grappling with haunting thoughts. "We have taken everything we deemed necessary," Ryler murmured, "but at what cost? Our arrogance has birthed destruction. We were so blinded by our perceived superiority that we failed to see the strength of resilience and unity that these humans possess." Sareth nodded slowly, her luminescent skin dimming in contemplation. "We must make amends. If we don't reach out, we will lose not only our chance at redemption but our very future. It is time we confess our mistakes and strip away the pretense." With resolute determination, they devised a plan to establish communication with Virulin and her human allies. Secreting away advanced comms technology, designed for discreet transmissions, they prepared to send a message offering their confession. An olive branch extended amidst the turmoil. Meanwhile, Virulin was grappling with increasing tension as both sides continued to clamor for retribution. Frustration mounted as she witnessed the devastation wrought by further escalations led by Zelthers. Remaining loyalists. It seemed every effort to foster understanding slipped further away, making the possibility of peace appear dimmer still. Then, one fateful evening, as she reviewed intelligence reports, a strange signal disrupted the frequency channel. Adjusting her equipment, Virulin listened intently as an unfamiliar voice emerged from the static, a trembling yet earnest tone filled with remorse. "We are not here to exploit or deceive," it proclaimed softly. "We are rebels from the Eldrian faction wishing to confess our fears and our failures." Her heart skipped as she recognized the potential for transformation amidst this unexpected overture. Hope blossomed anew. "Continue," she urged, her voice steady with conviction. The message unfolded like a delicate flower, revealing how deep divisions existed even among Zephyrians and how remorseful some Eldrians felt for attacking humanity. They spoke candidly about Zelther's arrogance, detailing covert operations aimed at resource extraction while appealing for understanding of their intentions. Moving forward, Ryler's voice resonated through the communicator. "We extend our apologies and seek your forgiveness that we wish to help you against Zelther's remnants, who operate under his misguided motives. Allow us to aid you in reclaiming peace." Waves of emotion washed over Virulin as she absorbed each word. The weight of despair began to lift slightly as she grasped the opportunity for reconciliation. Rallying her allies and human counterparts together, she shared this newfound revelation. "This is our chance," she declared passionately. "We can unite against Zelther's remaining loyalists, a united front formed from regret and newfound understanding." As discussions erupted about next steps, Virulin felt a flicker of optimism ignite within her. Could this shared desire for redemption pave a path toward restoring trust? Together, they hatched a plan to coordinate efforts between Eldrian defectors and human defenders to counter any remaining malice, while simultaneously working toward rehabilitation with open communication lines. In this crucial turning point, both species stood on the precipice of transformation, a chance to redefine their futures together rather than continue down the spiral toward fear and distrust sparked by betrayal's shadow. The battle was far from over. However, with renewed conviction now coursing through both sides, they might just find a way back to peace amidst the ruins left behind by unwarranted ambition. With the hope of reconciliation hanging in the air, Virulin gathered representatives from both the loyal Zephyrians and the defecting Eldrians alongside human leaders to form a united front. The Atmosphere in the command center was charged with a mixture of skepticism and cautious optimism as they prepared to address the lingering mistrust that had festered between their races. Trust will not be built overnight, Virilyn began, her voice steady yet compassionate. It will require transparency and understanding on all sides. We must demonstrate to one another that our intentions are genuine. To facilitate this process, a series of joint missions were organized aimed at neutralizing threats posed by Zelther's remaining loyalists, while simultaneously defending against other hostile alien factions that were now eyeing Earth's vulnerability as an opportunity for conquest. This urgency compelled both humans and Eldrians to cooperate more closely than ever before. The first operation took place near an abandoned mining facility where reports indicated that Zelther's loyalists were hoarding resources and preparing for further aggression against human settlements. As teams from both species prepared for the mission, it became evident that collaboration had its challenges. Humans were equipped with technology familiar to them, while Eldrians relied on their advanced capabilities, often leading to miscommunications. During a planning session, Sergeant Daniel Hart, a pragmatic military strategist, raised his eyebrows skeptically at an Eldrian drone model demonstrating targeting systems. "This won't work if we can't communicate effectively," he pointed out. "Your tech is foreign to us. We need to find common ground." Ryler stepped forward to address his concern. "We understand your perspective and share your urgency. Allow us to demonstrate our systems in real-time scenarios during training exercises so you can become accustomed." The willingness of Ryler and Sereth to adapt their approach showed a commitment toward building trust. Small gestures like these began slowly breaking down barriers as they engaged in joint drills leading up to the mission. Interactions between soldiers from both factions gradually shifted from suspicion to camaraderie. They exchanged stories during shared meals. Laughter started punctuating their conversations as cultural exchanges unfolded, each side learning about the other's values and aspirations. When it came time for the operation itself, a palpable sense of unity enveloped the team as they set out under a blanket of stars. With each success during their mission, the disabling of security drones guarding the facility or coordinating precise strikes against enemy positions, confidence grew among them. However, unforeseen complications arose when unexpected reinforcements from rival alien factions arrived seeking to exploit the chaos created by Zelther's actions. In moments of crisis where tensions flared anew, Virilyn found herself at the helm, not merely as a leader, but also as an emotional anchor for her people and their human counterparts alike. "Stay focused," she shouted over blaring alarms as they regrouped amidst gunfire and explosions echoing around them. "Remember what we fight for. Together." In this moment of danger, her fervent call sparked determination within every heart present. They moved as one entity rather than separate factions. Eldrian abilities complemented human strategies as they coordinated efforts seamlessly against their common foes. When victory was claimed after intense skirmishes with enemies vanquished together, silence fell momentarily before cheers erupted on both sides, a victorious sound blending camaraderie with hope over shared survival against adversity. Yet, as celebrations began anew among allies who had once been wary of one another just weeks prior, Virilyn understood more was needed than mere victories on battlefields. Actions must reflect intentions moving forward if trust were truly to flourish beyond this pivotal battle. In subsequent dialogues following successful missions such as this one, Virilyn pushed for regular meetings intended not solely for strategizing confrontations but nurturing relations through cultivating mutual understanding. Developing plans not simply around defense but towards creating opportunities for collaboration in other arenas such as technology sharing or cultural exchange programs. While healing wounds inflicted through betrayal would take time, and perhaps even generations, the seeds planted through perseverance combined with shared experiences began growing roots deep within both human hearts and those of defecting Eldrians alike. As they strode forward together into uncharted territory filled with possibility instead of fear, a burgeoning alliance seemingly forged anew, Virilyn felt hope spring forth like never before. Perhaps there lay a future ahead where unity could indeed prevail amid shadows cast by past transgressions long forgotten yet never truly lost among interstellar travelers fighting not only for survival, but also forging bonds built upon understanding across galaxies once divided by arrogance alone. As the dust settled from their joint efforts against the remaining Eldrian loyalists, both the Zephyrians and humans felt the weight of their experiences pressing upon them. The battles fought together had not only been a test of strength but also a profound learning experience that highlighted the complexities of trust, cooperation, and the consequences of underestimating one another. In the aftermath of their most recent victory, Virulin gathered representatives from both factions for a debriefing session. The room was filled with a mix of hope and fatigue expressions that spoke volumes about their journey thus far. "We have faced adversity together," she began, looking around at the weary but determined faces before her. "What we have achieved is more than just defeating an enemy. It is about understanding each other better and recognizing our shared vulnerabilities." Sergeant Daniel Hart nodded in agreement, his brow furrowed as he reflected on their collective evolution. "When we first encountered you, we were skeptical," he admitted. "We worried that you would exploit our weaknesses as your Eldrian counterparts did. But standing here now, I see how wrong those assumptions were." His voice held a sincerity that resonated throughout the room, illustrating how far they had come in overcoming prejudices. Ryler, who had become a vital bridge between the Eldrians and humans, spoke next. "We too underestimated your resolve," she confessed. "The Eldrians believed you to be fragile in spirit, easily manipulated for gain. Yet, your resilience has shown us that true strength arises from unity and compassion." Her words carried a weight of humility, acknowledging past mistakes while emphasizing growth. As dialogue continued, reflections on lessons learned flowed freely among those present. They discussed how initial suspicions had transformed into camaraderie as they faced adversities side by side. Shared meals during training exercises had fostered friendships that crossed boundaries once thought insurmountable. Laughter and stories exchanged bridged the cultural chasms between species, yet they also grappled with the darker memories of betrayal, the scars left behind by Zelther's actions, and recognized that healing would not be instantaneous. "Trust is not merely given, it must be earned," Virulin reminded them gently. "We must remain vigilant against those who would seek to divide us again." This understanding gave rise to strategies aimed at solidifying their alliance moving forward. Regular meetings were established to ensure open communication lines remained active, allowing for swift discussions regarding intelligence updates or emerging threats. They also initiated joint cultural exchange programs where human families could host Eldrians and vice versa, further fostering understanding through shared experiences outside conflict. As plans unfolded for more collaborative initiatives aimed at science and technology sharing, both species began to envision what a future built on mutual respect could look like. The potential seemed limitless. They could develop sustainable technologies together, or even embark on exploratory missions beyond their own worlds. However, lurking in the back of their minds was the harsh reality that other hostile factions still circled like vultures above their newfound harmony. The alliance forged through struggle was still fragile. There remained forces keen to exploit any sign of weakness or division. With this awareness fueling their determination, Virulin proposed an initiative. "Let us not only focus on defense but actively seek opportunities for outreach towards other alien groups who may still harbor ill intentions. Perhaps we can demonstrate together that peace is achievable, even amidst chaos." The room buzzed with anticipation as her suggestion sparked fervent discussions about proactive diplomacy rather than simply reactive defense strategies. They realized that by showcasing unity and purpose through outreach efforts, sharing stories of resilience and cooperation, they could perhaps avert future conflicts before they erupted. Through every exchange of ideas came a renewed commitment to nurture this delicate bond that had formed between them. A recognition that each party held valuable insights worthy of respect and consideration. Lessons learned were not only imprinted upon their hearts but woven into the very fabric of their alliance moving forward. What emerged from the lessons learned was not just an acknowledgement of past mistakes but a shared vision for tomorrow, one defined by trust born out of adversity and cooperation blossoming against all odds. In this new era bridging two civilizations once divided by misunderstanding lay hope glowing bright like stars piercing through a night sky long shrouded in shadows, each twinkling light now representing possibilities yet explored alongside allies united in purpose toward shared futures filled with promise instead of peril. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the newly forged alliance of Zephyrians and humans, a palpable sense of hope enveloped the gathered representatives. The events that had unfolded over recent months echoed in their minds, battles fought, lessons learned, and the fragile threads of trust woven together through shared experiences. What once seemed insurmountable had transformed into a powerful testament to the resilience of their spirits. In a ceremonial hall adorned with symbols from both cultures, Virulin stood before an assembly of eager faces, her luminous skin reflecting the ambient light. "Today marks a new beginning," she declared, her voice resonating with conviction. "We have faced challenges that tested our resolve. Yet we stand united not merely as allies but as friends, bound by our commitment to one another and to our shared future." The crowd erupted in applause, enthusiasm palpable as momentum built within the room. This gathering was not just a celebration of victories, it was a statement of intent, a declaration that they would move forward together into uncharted territories. Sergeant Daniel Hart stepped forward, his expression a mix of pride and determination. "What we have achieved is monumental," he said. "Together, we have proven that collaboration can overcome even the deepest divides. Let us embrace our differences not as barriers but as strengths that enrich our alliance." His words ignited a wave of energy among those assembled. Eldrians and humans alike exchanged smiles and nods, recognizing the journey they had undertaken to reach this point. Ryler added her voice, speaking passionately about their shared aspirations. "We will explore new worlds together, seek knowledge that benefits us all, and foster peace where hostility once lingered. The cosmos holds countless secrets waiting for us to unravel." As the discussions turned toward future endeavors, ambitious plans began to take shape. Joint exploration missions to distant planets previously thought unreachable, the sharing of technological advancements that could improve life on both worlds, and cultural exchange programs aimed at deepening understanding and friendship. Excitement swept through the hall as ideas flew like sparks among allies. Sustainable energy sources crafted through combined ingenuity, shared scientific initiatives to address threats from outer space. Even art festivals celebrating their unique heritages while honoring their collaborative triumphs over adversity. Each proposal solidified their commitment to collaboration beyond mere necessity. It was an opportunity to flourish alongside one another. However, amid the excitement shimmered a reminder of the challenges still ahead. The remnants of hostile factions loomed ominously just beyond their collaborative efforts. Forces lying in wait would capitalize on any weaknesses or divisions amongst them. Yet Virulin remained resolute in her vision for unity. "Our strength lies not only in our shared purpose, but also in our vigilance against those who would seek to disrupt our harmony," she asserted firmly. It became evident that this alliance was more than an agreement. It was a partnership forged through respect and understanding of each other's values, history, and potential for growth together. The lessons learned through trials had shaped them into more than mere allies. They were now guardians against external threats who understood the true essence of cooperation. As twilight deepened into nightfall outside the hall's walls, Virulin led everyone out onto the balcony overlooking Earth's landscape. A breathtaking sight illuminated by twinkling stars. Together they marveled at the splendid view stretching infinitely ahead. An endless canvas representing both planets intertwined in newfound kinship. In this luminous moment filled with shared dreams and aspirations for what lay ahead. The promise of peaceful endeavors among previously opposed races. Virulin felt hope blossom within her heart like starlight piercing through darkness. Together they would navigate uncharted waters as companions instead of conquerors. With each challenge faced and overcome came new horizons beckoning exploration. A cosmos brimming with possibilities waiting just beyond their reach. Whatever adventures lay ahead, whether confronting deeper cosmic mysteries or fostering bonds across galaxies, they would do so united. No longer divided by misconceptions or betrayal, but strengthened by perseverance and a determination to build a brighter future together. As laughter mingled with excitement around her, Virulin silently vowed never to forget how far they had come. The depth of sacrifice and understanding required to achieve their shared reality now blossoming before them. A magnificent legacy awaiting creation together among stars shimmering brightly above, forever symbolizing their commitment to unity amid diversity in every corner of existence, yet unexplored.